This is week 12, day 6 of the Bible in a Year live chronological project. My name is Sharone Dennis. I'll be your reader. We've been reading from the book of Joshua. We are in the book of Joshua this past week, and we've been reading the geography, the mapping actually, of the Israelites as they made their settlements within the Promised Land. So we'll continue our reading today from the New International Version. Joshua 19, allotment for Simeon. The second lot came out for the tribe of Simeon, according to its clans. Their inheritance lay within the territory of Judah. Is included Beersheba or Sheba, Molada, Hazar Shual, Bala, Ezem, El Tolad, Bethuel, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Markaboth, Hazar Susa, Beth Lebooth, and Sharuhen, 13 towns and their villages. Ain, Rimmon, Ether, and Ashan, 4 towns and their villages, and all the villages around these towns as far as Baalath Beer, Ramah in the Negev. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the Simeonites, according to their clans. The inheritance of the Simeonites was taken from the share of Judah, because Judah's portion was more than they needed. So the Simeonites received their inheritance within the territory of Judah. Allotment for Zebulun. The third lot came up for Zebulun, according to its clans. The boundary of their inheritance went as far as Sarid. Going west, it ran to Maralah, touched Dabesheth, and extended to the ravine near Jokanam. It turned east from Sarid toward the sunrise to the territory of Kisloth Tabor, and went on to Daberath and up to Japhiah. Then it continued eastward to Gath Hefer and Eth Kazin. It came out at Rimmon and turned towards Nia. There the boundary went around on the north to Hanath and ended at the valley of Ephim El. Included were Kata, Nahalal, Shimron, Idala, and Bethlehem. There were 12 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of Zebulun according to its clans. Allotment for Issachar. The fourth lot came out for Issachar according to its clans. Their territory included Jezreel, Kesaloth, Shunem, Hapharaim, Shion, Anaharath, Ribath, Kishion, Ebez, Remeth, En Ganim, En Haddah, and Beth Pazez. The boundary touched Tabor, Shahazuma, and Beth Shemesh, and ended at the Jordan. There were 16 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Issachar, according to its clans. Allotment for Asher. The fifth lot came out for the tribe of Asher, according to its clans. The territory included Halkath, Hali, Beten, Akshaph, Alamelech, Amad, and Mishal. On the west, the boundary touched Carmel and Shibor Libnath. It then turned east toward Beth Dagon, touched Zebulun and the valley of Iftael, and went north to Beth Emek and Neel, passing Kabul on the left. It went to Abdon, Rehob, Hammon, and Hannah, as far as Greater Sadon. The boundary then turned back toward Ramah and went to the fortified city of Tyre, turned toward Hosa, and came out at the Mediterranean Sea in the region of Akzib, Ummah, Aphek, and Rehob. There were 22 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Asher, according to its clan. Allotment for Naphtali. The sixth lot came out for Naphtali according to its clans. Their boundary went from Heleph and the large tree in Zananim, passing Adami Nekeb and Jabneel to Lukum and ending at the Jordan. The boundary ran west through Asnath Tabor and came out at Hokok. It touched Zebulun on the south, Asher on the west, and the Jordan on the east. The fortified towns were Ziddim, Zer, Hamath, Rakath, Kinnereth, Adamah, Ramah, Hazor, Kedesh, Adrai, En Hozor, Iron, Migdal El, Horem, Beth Hanath, and Beth Shemesh. There were 19 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Naphtali, according to its clans. Allotment for Dan. The seventh lot came out for the tribe of Dan according to its clans. The territory of their inheritance included Zorah, Eshtaol, Shemesh, Sha'al Labim, Aijalon, Ithla, Elon, Timnah, Ekron, Elteke, Gibbethon, Baalath, Jehud, Benai Barak, Gath Ramon, Mijarkon, and Rakon, with the areas facing Joppa. When the territory of the Danites was lost to them, they went up and attacked Leshem, took it, and put it to the sword and occupied it. They settled in Leshem and named it Dan after their ancestor. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Dan according to its clans. Allotment for Joshua. When they had finished dividing the land into its allotted portions, the Israelites gave Joshua son of Nun an inheritance among them, as the Lord had commanded. They gave him the town he asked for, Timnath Serah, in the hill country of Ephraim, and he built up the town and settled there. These are the territories that Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the heads of the tribal clans of Israel assigned by lot at Shiloh in the presence of the Lord at the entrance to the tent of meeting, and so they finished dividing the land. Joshua 20, cities of refuge. Then the Lord said to Joshua, tell the Israelites to designate the cities of refuge as I instructed you through Moses, so that anyone who kills a person accidentally and unintentionally may flee there and find protection from the avenger of blood. When they flee to one of these cities, they are to stand in the entrance of the city gate and state their case before the elders of that city. Then the elders are to admit the fugitive into their city and provide a place to live among them. If the avenger of blood comes in pursuit, the elders must not surrender the fugitive, because the fugitive killed their neighbor unintentionally and without malice aforethought. They are to stay in that city until they have stood trial before the assembly and until the death of the high priest who is serving at that time. Then they may go back to their own home in the town from which they fled. So they set apart Kadesh in Galilee in the hill country of Naphtali, Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah. East of the Jordan, on the other side from Jericho, they designated Bezer in the wilderness on the plateau in the tribe of Reuben, Ramoth in Gilead in the tribe of Gad, and Golan in Bashan in the tribe of Manasseh. Any of the Israelites or any foreigner residing among them who killed someone accidentally could flee to these designated cities and not be killed by the avenger of blood prior to standing trial before the assembly. Joshua 21, towns for the Levites. Now the family heads of the Levites approached Eleazar, priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the heads of the other tribal families of Israel at Shiloh in Canaan, and said to them, the Lord commanded through Moses that you give us towns to live in with pasture lands for our livestock. So, as the Lord had commanded, the Israelites gave the Levites the following towns and pasture lands out of their own inheritance. The first lot came out for the Kohathites according to their clans. The Levites, who were descendants of Aaron the priest, were allotted 13 towns from the tribes of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin. The rest of Kohath's descendants were allotted 10 towns from the clans of the tribes of Ephraim, Dan, and half of Manasseh. The descendants of Gershon were allotted 13 towns from the clans of the tribes of Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, and the half-tribe of Manasseh in Bashan. The descendants of Merari, according to their clans, received 12 towns from the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. So the Israelites allotted to the Levites these towns and their pasture lands, as the Lord had commanded through Moses. From the tribes of Judah and Simeon, they allotted the following towns by name. These towns were assigned to the descendants of Aaron, who were from the Kohathite clans of the Levites, because the first lot fell to them. They gave them Kiriath Arba, that is, Hebron, with its surrounding pasture land in the hill country of Judah. Arba was the forefather of Anak. But the fields and villages around the city they had given to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, as his possession. So, to the descendants of Aaron the priest, they gave Hebron, a city of refuge for one accused of murder, Libnah, Jatir, Eshtemoa, Holon, Dibur, Ain, Juttah, and Beth Shemesh, together with their pasture lands, 9 towns from these 2 tribes. And from the tribes of Benjamin they gave them Gibeon, Geba, Anathoth, and Almon, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. The total number of towns for the priests, the descendants of Aaron, came to 13, together with their pasture lands. The rest of the Kohathites clans of the Levites were allotted towns from the tribes of Ephraim. In the hill country of Ephraim, they were given Shechem, a city of refuge for one accused of murder, and Gezer, Kibzaim, and Beth Horon, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. Also, from the tribe of Dan, they received El Teken, Gibbethon, Aijalon, and Gathrimmon, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. From half the tribe of Manasseh, they received Tanakh and Gathrimmon, together with their pasture lands, 2 towns. All these 10 towns and their pasture lands were given to the rest of the Kohathite clans. The Levite clans of the Gershonites were given from the half tribe of Manasseh, Golan in Bashan, a city of refuge for one accused of murder, and Be Eshtera, together with their pasture lands, 2 towns. From the tribe of Issachar, Kishion, Dabarath, Jarmuth, and En Ganin, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. From the tribe of Asher, Mishal, Abdon, Helkath, and Rehob, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. From the tribe of Naphtali, Kadesh in Galilee, a city of refuge for one accused of murder, Hamath-dor, and Kartan, together with their pasture lands, 3 towns. The total number of towns of the Gershonites clans came to 13, together with their pasture lands. The Merarites clans, the rest of the Levites, were given from the tribe of Zebulun, Jokneam, Karta, Dimnah, and Nahalal, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. From the tribe of Reuben, Bezer, Gahaz, Kedemoth, and Mephaath, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. From the tribe of Gad, Ramoth in Gilead, a city of refuge for one accused of murder, Mahanaim, Heshbon, and Gazer, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns in all. The total number of towns allotted to the Merarites clans, who were the rest of the Levites, came to 12. The towns of the Levites in the territory held by the Israelites were 48 in all, together with their pasture lands. Each of these towns had pasture land surrounding it. This was true for all these towns. So the Lord gave Israel all the land he had sworn to give his ancestors, and they took possession of it and settled there. The Lord gave them rest on every side, just as he had sworn to their ancestors. Not one of their enemies withstood them. The Lord gave all their enemies into their hands. Not one of all the Lord's good promises to Israel failed. Everyone was fulfilled. This is the word of the Lord. Amen. That's definitely a mouthful, and it's very sometimes tedious to try and picture what this map actually looked like. So I'm going to encourage you, when you get a chance, just to Google it, because of course everything is on the internet, so that you can see how the land was divided for the Israelites once they took possession of the promised land. All right, so thanks for joining me. I will see you again tomorrow. We're going to continue in the book of Joshua, and then yeah, so that's it. Have a good one. Bye bye.